Hey, hey, hey. Mr. Manly here with lesson number 437 in How to Be Manly. Not that I don't do well with the ladies already, but I thought I could up my chances by taking a home economics course with cooking involved. With the holiday season coming up, what could be more impressive? This way, I could entertain at home and still have my guests enjoy my biscuits while I enjoy buttering their buns. I enrolled in a cooking class with a charming-sounding woman named Juliet. We had a nice conversation, but we all know the voice rarely matches the face. Still, having manly intentions, off to my first class I went. And, of course, I brought an apple for the teacher. One look at Juliet, I was happy I brought that apple, because much like the apple, I could tell she was delicious right down to the core. Juliet welcomed me to the class, and I had to ask her which is her favorite course. She said I like them all. First, I like an appetizer, then a main course, then a luscious dessert. At that point, I knew I could satisfy all of Juliet's appetites and do so in a manly manner. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, follow along in your manly manual, page number 437, and repeat after me. Number 1, appetizer, here, give this a nibble. Number 2, for your main course, I'll serve you something up better than flounder. Number 3, hey, Juliet, you like a luscious dessert? Allow me to frost your cupcakes. Shortly after, as Juliet gives you your just desserts by kicking you in your cupcakes as you go floundering around and have suddenly lost your appetite, you'll realize just what kind of man you really are. Until next time, this is Mr. Manly saying be manly and good day.
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
The FDA is warning consumers to immediately stop using 26 over-the-counter eye drop products because they could cause vision loss or blindness. But on the bright side, you'd instantly be qualified to be an NFL referee. Sunday is the end of daylight saving time, which means the clock in my car will be off by an hour all the way until March. Patriots owner Robert Kraft is reportedly having discussions about firing Bill Belichick. Ironically, Kraft's relationship with Belichick is not likely to have a happy ending.
Prospector ruins everything, even the news. Tune in Monday for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107. Please be advised that the football predictions in Tara's Takes are as reliable as a squirrel with a crystal ball. They may lead to uncontrollable fits of laughter, head-scratching confusion, or, in rare cases, inexplicable outbreaks of interpretive dance. Remember, trusting Tara's Takes with your football betting decisions is akin to asking a goldfish for stock market advice. In other words, proceed at your own risk. Rock 107 hereby absolves ourselves from any responsibility for lost bets, puzzled looks, or unexpected dance-off injuries that may result from heeding Tara's football wisdom. Enjoy, and may the football gods have mercy on your wagers.
On the line with my wife, Tara, and we are going to do some picking from football. Tara's Takes. And Tara, in case people are just new to this, what do you know about football?
Nothing.
All right, let's pick some teams here. Miami at Kansas City, a very early game. It's in Europe. Who are you taking in between the Dolphins and the Chiefs?
Kansas City.
All right, didn't even think too much about that. Los Angeles at Green Bay. Last week you went against my Rams. It worked out for you. Where are you going this week?
Since I know nothing about Green Bay, I'm going to say the Rams.
All right, that's because you know nothing about football. Game number 3, Minnesota at Atlanta. Name one of those teams.
Minnesota Vikings.
Name the other one.
Atlanta Hawks.
Ooh, close. Falcons.
All right.
I think the Hawks was their basketball team, if I'm not mistaken. All right, who do you like in that game?
I'll pick Minnesota.
And the final game, the Washington Commanders taking on the New England Patriots. My wife, Tara, who knows nothing about football, who are you taking?
Washington Commanders.
And what do you know about football?
Nothing.
Get ready to fall back as daylight savings ends. Good morning, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and that, of course, means Rock 107's Time Travel Weekend. Think of it like 10 at 10s all weekend long, with some as short as 2 songs and some much, much longer. It also means you got to change all your clocks that are not digital. Stove, microwave, old school clocks, things like that. including perhaps the most daunting clock to change, I think, your car. Yeah, the clock in your automobile. That is tough to figure out. This year, I'm getting a little help. Hey, Alexa, how do I change the clock in my car?
To change the clock in your car, press the clock button on your console. Turn the volume until you get to the correct hour, and engage the parking brake. To set the minute, press cruise control at the same time you beep the horn. Tap the gas until you get the correct minute, then turn on the wipers as you adjust the rear view mirror and pop the trunk. Finally, ask yourself if it would be easier to drive 6 months a year with the incorrect time. Oh, and don't touch the radio button. Leave it where it is.
The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to Loudmouth Yambag at rock107.com.
Hey, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and here's what's got me jacked. I got into a discussion the other day with a family member about our country. Now, usually I'll avoid such chatter with people because really, what are the chances we're going to change each other's hearts or our minds, right? However, I got suckered into this one. And at one point, he rather tersely said to me, America, love it or leave it, which really set me off. All right, look, let me get this straight. Love it or leave it? That's the mantra? Let me tell you something about that. I thought this little experiment in representative democracy was designed to improve as we go. Yeah, America, love it or leave it. Sure, if it were perfect, but as great as this country is, and it is plenty great, it's not perfect. There's room for improvement, but this lummox wants to rock in right here? Look, I never understood the love it or leave it attitude. I mean, I love myself, but I recognize my failings and I work on trying to fix them. So why not America too? I mean, if you got a sick kid, you love him to death, right? But you don't just throw your hands up and say, can't help the little tyke because, love it or leave it, right? No, you take them to the doctor. You try to find a cure. You do everything in your power to make them better. That is what love is. Wanting to fix something that we think is wrong doesn't mean we don't love something. It means we do love it, but we want it to be better. And guess what? America's the same darn way. We didn't just build this country and say, well, that's it, folks. We're done here. No, we set up a system with checks and balances. We even said, you know what? We might not have gotten everything right, so let's have the ability to make some amendments. Yeah, that's right. We have a constitution, and it has changed over time. We ended slavery. We gave women the right to vote. That's not leaving it and loving it. That's making it better. So when someone comes at me with this love it or leave it nonsense, I say, hold on a second, buddy. I love this country, but I also want to make it better. And that's not just my right. It's all of our duty. And isn't that the American way? I mean, whether you agree with me about what needs to be fixed or you want to change everything I think's fine, neither one of us loves the place less if we try to make it better. So don't tell me to love it or leave it. Tell me to love it and live it, and let's work our backsides off to make it even better. That's what this country's all about. I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man!
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag I found Prospector, and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107. Live right now, there's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
A guy's dog found a rare lump of whale puke on a beach in Scotland, and it could turn into a huge payday for him. Whale vomit has stuff in it that's used in high-end perfumes. The chunk his dog found could be worth thousands of dollars.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. The radio.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Week, as decided by you at rock107.com.
We uncover the most baffling, ridiculous, pathetic, cockeyed, laughable, preposterous blunders in the world of misdeeds. Nominee number 1.
Are you an animal lover? So's this guy, but in a very different way. A 48-year-old guy in Washington State named Jad Shipman got arrested for trying to hire a hooker to service his miniature horse.
He made an offer on an online forum where people solicit prostitutes. He offered to pay somebody $440 to, quote, touch him and his miniature horse sexually. He mentioned he'd been having a hard time finding a willing participant because, quote, the last two gals I asked said it was noticeably outside their comfort zone. A cop apparently was monitoring the site and called Jad's local police department. They showed up at his house and saw two miniature horses on his property. Someone who was there said Jad is a co-owner of the horses. He confessed 4 days later and admitted that he had prior sexual contact with the animals. He's facing charges for animal cruelty. A judge banned him from being around animals while he's on bail.
Nominee number 2.
This is one way to make your marijuana extra dank. TSA recently caught a woman trying to sneak some weed past them by hiding it inside her adult diaper. A checkpoint scanner flagged her groin area. Agents did a pat-down and some additional screening. That's when they discovered baggies of marijuana tucked inside the adult diaper. Maybe she thought she'd get away with it if it wasn't smelled by a dog or something. Maybe she thought the sensitive area might decrease the chances of that. It didn't work. It's also unclear if the diaper was clean or dirty. Marijuana is still illegal under federal law and is not allowed through airport security. The TSA posted a photo of the pot and the diaper online. In this case, they let the woman and her mother continue on to their flight after tossing the drugs. It's unclear if they face fines or any other ramifications, but TSA is required to report violations to local authorities.
Nominee number 3.
If you didn't know, you can't just park on a road. Unless you're on 81 near the airport, then parking for short periods of time is part of the normal commute. A 32-year-old man in Michigan was pulled over because he'd parked his car in the middle of the road. It wasn't a highway, it was a country road, but still, it was a road and not a parking lot. Cops approached the man and he asked them what the problem was. They asked why he was parked there. And he said he was smoking marijuana and he thought he was being followed. He also said he had meth in the car. Cops found over 30 grams of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. The man was arrested and is looking at several charges, including possession of meth with intent to deliver.
Nominee number 4.
It won't get you where you're going any faster. A Florida man pointed a firearm at an off-duty Florida Highway Patrol trooper while driving next to him on the highway. 32-year-old Matthew Tim Reeder got agitated due to slow-moving traffic and focused his attention on the trooper in his personal vehicle. Now, the trooper was dressed in normal clothes and was with his family members in his personal car. Reeder, driving a red Chevy pickup truck, began driving alongside the trooper, speeding up and slowing down, yelling, and using hand gestures despite the trooper ignoring him. Then he pulled a firearm out, first displaying it, then pointing it at the trooper. Reeder is charged with 3 counts each of unlawful display of a weapon and aggravated assault with a weapon.
And the winner is
the guy who tried to hire a hooker for his miniature horse. What the hell? You are the yam bag of the week, and perhaps the biggest yam bag ever. Stay tuned for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings, right here on Rock 107. Thanks for listening. The Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app. A free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.